To find one of my announcements.
It's all done, okay?
So, welcome everyone to our Wednesday night Oasis. I'm Judith Roberts. I'm your host tonight, and I welcome you to this Wednesday night service. Our Wednesday night Oasis is a place where we come together as a community to be spiritually refreshed between Sundays. Most Wednesday night services build upon the theme of the previous Sunday, expressing science of mind principles and practices with the intention that these gatherings are informal, intimate, and interactive. Our theme for 2025 is Rising Higher, Growing Deeper. And our monthly theme for January is Stretching into Possibilities. Last Sunday, Reverend Sunshine Michelle Coleman introduced ideas inspired by the talk title of God's Nature is Our Nature. And tonight, our speaker will continue the exploration of the same topic. So, as we gather tonight, I really want to welcome you. If you're new to our community or watching our recording, please visit our homepage, www.oaklandcsl.org, and click on the I'm New icon and look at the lower left-hand corner of that page and submit your email address. Once you do so, you'll be receiving the Village News newsletter once a week on Thursdays in your email. It has all the information on what is happening at the center in the coming weeks. Before we get started with the talk, please mute your own audio microphone during tonight's service. When you mute your audio microphone, it will improve the quality of our recording and tonight's transmission. You can leave your camera on. And please stay tuned through the end of the service to receive special and important announcements. So tonight, our speaker is Reverend Deb Hammond. Reverend Deb is a practitioner and is a dedicated beacon of spiritual light and guidance in the realm of interfaith ministry and science of mind spiritual living. With a spiritual belief in the inherent goodness and potential within every individual, Rev Deb has been serving as a licensed practitioner with the Centers for Spiritual Living since 2009. In 2018, she expanded her spiritual journey by becoming an ordained interfaith minister through One Spirit Seminary. Passionate about helping others see the best in themselves and transforming their lives, Rev Deb's work is a testament to her unwavering commitment to personal and collective transformation. Currently, a member of the Focus Ministry, Platinum Butterfly Ministries in Oakland, California, under the leadership of Senior Minister Reverend Jacqueline Edwards, Rev Deb continues to inspire and uplift those on their spiritual path, guiding them to realize their fullest potential. So, Rev Deb, thank you in advance for being our speaker tonight. As we do with every organized event at the center, we open with prayer, which will be offered by Dorothy. Dorothy, would you open us in prayer, please?
Absolutely. Let us all just take a deep breath together and just exhale as we recognize and know that the power in the presence of God is right where we are, guiding, guarding, and moving us through this thing called life. And I am knowing for this Wednesday night service that it is already complete in the mind of God, and that our beloved Reverend Deb is grounded and surrounded in the love and the light of God. And knowing that the lesson that she brings to us today enriches and enhances our lives. I am blessing everyone who had anything to do with this service today, knowing that we are truly whole, perfect, and complete right where we are. And I am knowing for those that are coming, that though on their way to this wonderful service, we bless them and know the truth for them, that they are truly whole, perfect, and complete. And I say, thank you, God. I say, thank you, God, for everyone in this service today, knowing that we are growing in ways that we could not have possibly imagined. So I give thanks for this and for the more. And as I release this word into the law that always says yes, I let go, I let God, and together we say, and so it
And
is.
so it is. Thank you, Dorothy, for that beautiful, passionate prayer. And I would now
Yes.
like to turn this service over to Rev Deb.
Thank you, Judith. Thank you, Dorothy, for that beautiful prayer. And welcome, everyone. I'm so honored to be here with you all this evening. And, I was thinking about this topic that we have in regards to God's nature is our nature. But there's also another part of the theme that goes along with this, and it's stretching into infinite possibilities. So we gather together today in regards to their two powerful truths that guide us towards deeper and spiritual awakening and transformation. And those are the two topics. But we think about, how do we stretch into infinite possibilities? Reverend Sunshine changed that infinite to infinite possibilities when she did her talk on Sunday. And because we don't live in a finite world, we live in an infinite world, and we have infinite possibilities that, when we know of who we are and whose we are and how we serve, and that power within us that we can tap into, there are so many different opportunities that we have in how to show up and how things show up. There's a song that's, it's called Miracles, and it talks about miracles and upon miracles. And we call them miracles, but when we stand in that place of absolute knowingness, we know that, is it really a miracle, or is it just us knowing that we are truly stepping into that true nature of God? That we know that God that resides within us, that it knows exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And so it also supports us when we are wanting to stretch or step beyond what our boundaries are. As far as, we create boundaries in our lives, we create opportunities, but then it's, well, it has to be, this job or this amount of money or this home or whatever it is that we're looking at. And sometimes that limits us. And so even when we're looking at our world of, we limit ourselves sometimes in where we want to live. And there's nothing wrong with where we want to live. And sometimes spirit moves us out of those places where we become comfortable. Because sometimes when we create these boundaries, it creates this comfort zone for us sometimes. And it is good to have boundaries, because sometimes we don't want everybody coming into our space all the time. But in regards to that spiritual boundary, it's like, how do we open ourselves up and to the vastness of God's universe? How do we allow ourselves to continue to say yes? There's this song that I so love, and I play it periodically, and it's "Will Your Heart and Soul Say Yes?" Well, it says yes. And I listen to that because it says, God is calling us for something greater than we can ever imagine. And it's like, will your heart and soul say yes to what you're being called to? And in that space, that's that place of infinite possibilities, because we can get programmed into, well, this is what I know how to do. Be it work, be it even when we drive our cars, we're so used to like a programming. going straight to our destination because it could be home, wherever it is. And it's like, what about if Spirit says, let's go take an adventure? How about you go to the park instead? Go get on the swing, go do whatever it is, or go to this store. How many times do we think about, yes, of course, I will go. Or it's like, no, I don't have time for that. And you could have gone to that store and they may have had a major sale on for something that you wanted. And you may have missed out on that sale. So it's when I think about how spirit and this infinite possibility, how it stretches us, it allows us to grow and expand. And that's what I keep thinking about, like with this year, in this moment. It's like these are opportunities for us to grow and expand into something that spirit is calling us. I know we're going to do the vision board. So when we create those vision boards, how do we allow ourselves to focus on and to be open to those things that we're putting on our vision board or the intentions that we're setting? Are we setting these intentions based on what it is that we're willing to experience? Or is this something, sometimes it's a past programming. Well, I didn't get this last year, so let me put it back on my vision board again. Let me, whatever it is, the new car, whatever it is that we're calling forth, where in our mind and our consciousness are we actually thinking? Sometimes in the back of our minds, we may say, do I really want this? Do I want this because this makes me look good? This makes me look rich or fancy or whatever the case may be. And if that's what your intention is, then that's fine. But the thing is, there's also could be another programming happening that's in the background. And it's like, you really don't need that. You really don't want that. Why are you even going for that? And sometimes we get into that movement and that takes us down a downward spiral. So we have to remain open for infinite possibilities. Those little whispers that come to us when we're really thinking about, there's a scripture, Matthew 19:26, and it says, with God, all things are possible. And in those, it's not a promise well, it is a promise, but it's not just a promise for generations. It's a way that we live the truth for each one of us. When we really can capture into that space of with God, all things are possible. And it's not the God that's out there, but it's that God that's within us, that God that created us. I look at sometimes there's a prayer when I get frustrated with myself, and it's like, I've been doing prayer and things are not manifesting the way that I think that they should be manifesting. And I keep trying this or trying this or trying something different. And then I get to the place, I'm like, you know what? I just throw my hands up. I give up. It's like, God, you know what? You created me. You know me better than I do. Sorry, I got this little thing in the way. You created me. So you know me better than I know myself. So let me allow myself to be open to infinite possibilities. Because in my mind, in our human mind, we know only certain things. We know things that we've read, things that we've been taught. But when we listen to spirit that gives us that, does that little tiny whisper in our ear, and we think about, oh, I didn't think about that. Let me go and try this company, or let me go down this street because they may have a house that's for sale that I never even thought about going down. And there it is, and that becomes your dream home. There's so many different infinite possibilities. But when we truly connect with the true nature of God, when we know and recognize that God is love, God is peace, God is whatever you want to call God. As Reverend Sunshine said, Yahweh, I call it spirit. People call it love, beauty. We have different names for God. And so I remember one minister, when she used the letters God, she called it the grand overall design. And because it designed us, it designed humanity, it designed all of what we're experiencing. And so when we allow ourselves to truly tap into that, the nature of God, that nature that's within us, that is of love, that it is of kindness, that's peace and its strength. These attributes reside in the very core of our beingness. Because how can we see love and beauty and happiness outside of us if it's not already within us? How do we know how to identify what it feels like? And sometimes there may be days that you may not feel happy, and it's okay. But what I know is that that created us, it's there within us. We don't have to go outside and look for love. We don't have to go outside and look for happiness. You know, when we hear people sometimes, excuse me, that says, you know, you make me so happy. And it's not that that person is making you happy. You're connecting with the happiness within them that's within you. And that happiness comes out. So they're feeding that inner happiness that's wanting to show up. And I keep thinking about it's how do we live in such a vast world, vast universe, that there is so much beauty, so much love that's around us. And sometimes when we look at this on the outside, we forget that love and that beauty and that joy that's within us. How do we tap into those places within ourselves? Because those are the true natures of God. So if God is within us, then love and joy and beauty is within us. When we forget, what do we do? How do we come back to those places? And sometimes it's easy to go into that place to waddle in, oh, woe is me, or whatever that energy, that low energy becomes. That's when we go into meditation. That's when we go into prayer. That's when we go into driving. It's like for me, it's like I was just coming back from, I just drove back from Arizona. I drove to and from. And in that space and that time, I had some conversations, but I had some prayers, but I also had some quiet time. And that quiet time truly allowed me to connect with that divine nature of God. As I looked around as I was driving to Arizona and, you know, the mountains that are out there and just the beauty, the grass and the trees and all of this that's around me, it's like passing by water. God created all of that. And that's the nature of God that resides within us because within us, we're water. You know, it's like there are so many different things for us to see and to experience in this lifetime. And sometimes we get so buried in work that we miss those opportunities. We get so buried in our families and other dynamics that we don't always pay attention to the other things that are happening around us, the beauty that's happening around us, the love that's happening around us. You know, sometimes there are times we put on music. I love to put on music, and when I listen to it, there's a resonance within the music that really resides within me, and it allows me to really tap into that energy, that space of God within me. And I just keep thinking, it's like, thank you, Spirit, for this opportunity to connect. Because sometimes if I'm not driving, it's like I'm off doing something else. I don't always remember to come back to that space of connecting with God within. You know, it's like this is a brand new year. And, you know, I was thinking as I was driving, you know, it's like we thrive in 2025. And I've heard so many, you know, different places that have talked about thriving in 2025. But what does that mean? It's like when we're thriving, it's like, and it's not like trying to get everything that we want, but it's allowing ourselves to be open and to truly connect to that God nature that's within us. When we connect to God's nature, it allows us the courage to overcome fear. It allows us the wisdom to navigate through challenges and the love to heal and transform. And I think about where we're going into with this new year and all the things that are happening around us. Before we started this talk, we were talking about the fires that are in LA and how we just get to bless all the participants that are there, the firefighters that are there, those individuals that may have lost their homes and are dealing with fires and stuff in those areas. As I was driving back through from Arizona into LA, I could see some of the fires on the sides of the road as I was driving and all the winds that was happening. And in that moment, it took me into this place of prayer. And, that's the thing that I invite, each one of us to do is like when we are in those places of fear, go into prayer. When we're in those places of not knowing, tap within, call a practitioner up, call the World Ministry of Prayer, call our prayer line. Because what I know is that it's easy for us in our humanness to get wrapped up in what the news is telling us, because the news is feeding fear. Families and people are feeding fear to us because of the unknown. But when we are truly tapped into that true nature of God, we know how to move through that fear. Not to say that we don't have fear, but it's like, we don't allow it to hold us back. We allow ourselves to be able to, okay, Spirit, I'm trusting you right now, because this becomes my conversation. It's like, all right, Spirit, I'm trusting you. I don't know what to do or what I need to say or where I need to go, but I'm trusting you right now. Show me what it is that I'm to do. Show me what it is that I'm to say. Please open my heart so that I'm able to connect with you in a deeper level. Because it's easy to try to, again, figure it out, try to do it on our own. And because our head and our ego says, oh, you can do this, you got this. And we start struggling and trying to figure this out and get frustrated in our struggles. But what I know is that when we listen to Spirit, there's an ease that happens. And in that easiness, it becomes like really simple. It's like, oh, that's all I needed to do? Make this phone call, go to this bank or go wherever. And there's information that shows up for us that we're seeking is seeking us. How many times have you heard that message? Have you heard that saying? That you are seeking is seeking you, because there's an energetic connection to it. And that's us tapping into truly that true nature of God, that it allows us in this moment to really just be open and to allow ourselves to receive, allow ourselves to hear. Sometimes I think about how many times have you've seen people do what they call the trust fall, or you fall back and there's somebody behind you, and you trust that they're going to catch you. And sometimes it's like you've seen on TV that somebody is falling back and somebody gets distracted, and it's like, and that person falls on the ground. What I know is that when we are trusting Spirit's always going to catch us. Spirit always has our back. When we are destined to grow and to expand and to become our fullest expression of the divine, opportunities are always showing up to stretch us, to help us to grow, to move us in a new direction. Even as I think about when I've been back here in the Bay Area now for, geez, it's been since May. I stopped trying to keep track of how long it's been. But I've just been open to, even as I've been looking for work, and I'm thinking, and that's the whole thing, because I say I'm looking for work. So rather than allowing Spirit to tap into that true nature of Spirit, and it's like, what is it that I'm passionate about? What is it that my soul is calling me to? And then setting the intention of, this is the work that I want to do. How do I, it's like, Spirit, guide me to where it is that I'm to go. And I had to bring myself to that, because my conversation had been, I'm looking for, I'm trying to, I'm getting to, whatever it is. And what I know is that I'm trusting spirit. Always hear this thing, and I say this, it's like the what is ours, the how is spirit's. So how are we allowing spirit to do its job in our lives if we're trying to do its job? If we're trying to do spirit's job, it's kind of like, you know what, spirit, you're taking too long. Let me do this. Let me go run over here and run over to this place, and doing that, it wears you out. Ask me how I know. It's like I've been there. And I'm at a place now, it's like, you know what? Let me stop. Let me listen and make a choice on what it is that I want to do. Because even in all of this, even when spirit gives us information, we still get to choose. We get to choose how, if we want to follow what spirit is guiding us to do, or if we don't. How many times have you learned your lesson? It's like spirit has said, do this, go this way. And you've said, nope, I'm going to go to the right. And spirit said, no, you need to go to the left. I'm going to the right. And you go to the right and you run into so much traffic that's there, or it becomes a dead end street or something. And you have to turn around and go back the way spirit said go in the first place. That's the whole process of tapping into that true nature of God, tapping into the love of God, the wisdom of God, because that wisdom resides within us. And in that space, when we tap into that, this is when we get to trust ourselves as well. There are many times that I know that we doubt. Well, I shouldn't say we, I can say me. And if you agree, then you understand. But we get into this place where doubt comes in. And it's like, am I good enough to do this? Am I really qualified to do this? Or is this the perfect relationship for me, or the perfect place to live? And when, there are so many signs that have made it so easy to say, this is yours. This is what you've asked for. And with bonuses. And then the doubt kicks in. And when that doubt kicks in, for me, sometimes what it feels like is that I'm negating what God has said, what God has put in place. And so this is the time I want to take some time just for us to kind of interact for a moment. And so I invite you to reflect on a time. What infinite possibilities are you being called to stretch into? What's calling you right now? What divine nature within you is ready to emerge more fully into this world? So is there somebody that would like to open up? And don't be afraid, we're in safe space here. And sometimes we may think that some things seem really silly or sound silly, but it may not be. So there's something that's calling you. What is it that's calling you in this moment that's really stretching you?
Reverend Deb, this is Dorothy.
Yes, ma'am.
And I had made up my mind that I was giving up certain things at the church.
Mm-hmm.
And then it came to me that no, you're not. You're going to move through this easily and effortlessly. And I have had people say, Dorothy, give it up, give it up, give it up. And so I go within. Spirit, what is it that you want me to do? And that's what I listen to. And I am right back where I said I was giving up. Okay. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your lesson today. Thank you for just helping me to just be still and know that God is all there is, and to listen to that still voice within. And so I'm truly listening to that still voice because I want our community to know that practitioners are here for you, regardless of the appearances of things. And so I wrestle with it, but God is telling me something different. No, this is your path. You're going to do this. And I say, thank you. That's all I can do. And I thank you. I
Thank
thank
you
you
for
for
sharing
tonight.
that.
I thank you for the reminder that God is all there is. And there's
Yes.
no spot in my life that God is not. Thank you,
You
darling.
know, you're welcome. And these opportunities, it stretches you. It's like, you may have done it a certain way in the past. And so these opportunities show up to do something different, to maybe
Yes,
allow people to come in and support you in what it
yes,
is that you want to do. We don't know all of the pieces that go along with these things when we're being called into something.
exactly.
But when we
Exactly.
know, it's like God has the people in place, the situation in place. All we need to do is
Oh, God.
trust it.
Yes.
And it's like, and I
Oh,
don't know, go, kicking and screaming. It's like, nope, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. No, we throw these tantrums. And it's like, and then it's like, why am I doing all of this? Because we burn more energy doing that than just saying yes and being in the
yes.
flow of things. So thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing that. Yes.
Thank you, darling. Thank you for your lesson today. Thank you for
Yes.
helping me to really delve deep into what it is I'm supposed to be doing as a
Yes.
practitioner and as a member of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you, sweetheart.
Like Miss Grady always says, what you get to do. And it's like,
Well,
and then what you get to bring to this as well.
exactly. Thank you, darling.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Is there someone else that would like to share? What is it that's pulling you? What's that thing that you're being stretched to do right now? I can't see all the people. I might need a little help.
Yeah.
No one?
I'll share a couple things.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the talk. I loved it. I was taking notes, and it's very wonderful ideas,
Thank you.
and I resonated with so many of them. And I just want to share a couple things that I resonated with. One was that when you were talking about nature, and um, when we resonate or love being in nature, there's something within us that's also beautiful. That spirit is within us as well.
Yes.
And a couple years ago, I was on a hike, and I've been practicing self-compassion and self-love, and I love nature. I've always loved nature. I've always been so restored by it. And on this hike, I decided to imagine, like, if I saw a tree that I thought was beautiful, I imagined that the tree loved me also. That it was two ways. Like that stream over there loves me, and it was a really radical idea. And I've remembered it. And something else I want to share is, um, like, I've been trying to think about what I'd like for this year, and I keep coming back to more of what was so good about last year. And in some ways, I'm like, I've always been very idealistic and pushed myself really hard and challenged myself, and sometimes over challenged myself. And then I end up not feeling grounded or supported. And 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 I realized I'm challenged enough with and rewarded enough with my current work and there's so many good things in my life right now, and I don't. It's sort of like a feeling of gratitude, where I think the stretch for me is to allow myself to just keep living what I'm living, and to not feel like I have to reach for the stars all the time. Like, I don't know if I'm saying it that clearly, but I did take on some challenges last year, that I want to do more of this year, continue with.
Wow. Thank you, Catherine, for sharing that.
Sure.
It's so awesome. It's like when we really, and it is about gratitude as well. It's coming from that place of absolute gratitude. Because when we're in that space of gratitude, it just opens us up to more and more good coming in for us, more and more opportunities showing up.
Mhm.
Giving thanks in advance. That's when, even when we do the prayers, that we're coming from that place of knowing that it's already done. And
Mhm.
so when we're in that place of gratitude, giving gratitude for being in gratitude for it already being done, that we're asking for, that we're being
Mhm.
called to do. And, it's like, even if it's something, 2024, it was a stretch. That was kind of like your stepping stone. And it's like in 2025, it's like, so now it's like, okay, I want more of that. I want more of that. How do I open myself up to receive more, to
Mhm.
be more, and to give more? So you're allowing yourself, right now to be open to that. And I
Mhm.
think, so many of us are in that place that we're just like, okay, how do I give more of the love that's within me, the
Mhm.
service that I'm here to provide, whatever it is that we're called to do? How do I give more of that? Because it's you giving, that God essence within you to the world, and you receive that back. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judith, go ahead. Judith.
Judith, you're up.
Yeah, hi, hi. Yeah, what I'm being called to really strongly is health and fitness. And I discovered I always or have in the past had a hard time in the winter with exercise because my exercise has been outdoors, and when it's cold and dark, I don't want to do anything outdoors. So this year I discovered Orange Theory, which is 5 minutes from my house, and I'm going 3 to 4 times a week and loving it. It's just like I look forward to going for a 60-minute workout, but I'm also being called to dance, learn maybe master or learn a new form of dance or return to an old form of dance that I haven't done in a long time, and also to learn to play pickleball. And a friend gave me a pickleball set a while ago. I haven't ever even opened it. So just these things to move my body and enjoy it, and I know dancing gives me joy, and just move and it's also social. It's social, it's not doing something alone. So that's what I'm being called to, and I'm kind of excited about
I love that. And
it.
it's like, and maybe, we can do some dance lessons or dance classes or something at the center also. So just never know.
Ooh, ooh,
But,
that would be
it's there's
fun.
yes, there's so much stuff. It's like when we open ourselves to infinite possibilities, things that move us out of that fear space. Or, it's like with dance and stuff, because we may think, oh, I don't know how to dance, or I can't. When you feel that music, it's like there's that within you that just moves you if you allow yourself to. And sometimes people say, oh, that looks too silly. I can't do that. Get out there and have fun with it. So I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and my
There's
trepidation has been I did take salsa classes once, and I haven't quite learned, in partner dancing, I haven't quite learned how to follow. I'm good dancing alone, but I haven't quite learned
yes.
how to follow. I'd like to really learn how to follow a lead and dance. I used to be able to when I was, much younger in certain types of dance, but I guess as I'm older, I've gotten a little timid about it, but I know I can do it. So I'm being
Yes.
called to that.
It's like it's like when we're in alignment with what it is we're called to do. It's like, we'll have the perfect partner that will show up to help to move us, through these situations, and allow ourselves to just go with the flow. Because sometimes we think about so many things. We think about, can I do this? Am I doing this right? And that's the thing of stepping into the true nature of God, is that trust and allowing it to happen. So, just think, when you're with your partner as you're dancing, just allow it to flow and listen to the music. Let the music move you. So thank you
And
for sharing that. Oh my gosh.
find the partner. Find the
Yes, well,
dance
yes, that's
partner.
true too.
Because I know I used to dance when I was younger, and I always found a dance partner. I mean, there's always somebody that you just, you sync with. So thank you, Rev Deb. This has been a great talk.
Well, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Is there anyone else that would like to share?
Andrea, go ahead.
Go ahead, Andrea. Hey, how are you?
Okay. Um, well, I've been thinking about my vision board, and I'm very kind of honed in for 2025. Um, I am interested in paying attention to my feeling states with the goal of maximizing relaxed attention, creative thinking, creativity in projects, recognizing me as the artist in music, creative writing, cooking, baking, social planning for my community, finding and honoring joy, and learning to pay attention to what my heart and soul wants. And then also offering loving support for those in my life who are disabled or sick.
Mm.
But it is that, like as I go through my day, I've really, we have a new puppy, and it's been 4 months now since we adopted the puppy, and the puppy has brought so much joy to our house. And it has really highlighted how it's much nicer to be in joy most of the day than, in anxiety or overwhelm or over productivity. So, and I want to learn how to balance understanding current events without becoming cynical or hopeless. I do want to be a fighter for right. So ultimately, I want to be flexible and solve problems with positivity. When you were talking, I wrote all this down.
Okay.
On my phone.
And so you can make that your affirmation also. What you're saying that you want to be, it's like that I am. It's like allow yourself to be in that space that this is who you are. And it's aligning with that you're being called to do. And you don't have to do everything all at one time. Allow yourself that balance. And I think the puppy helps you to be able to kind of relax into that sometimes, because we may get stressed out, and there's something I love, like when I see children or I hear children, it's like their laughter, it just kind of breaks, that the energy. And so I'm just like, wow. So just allow yourself to be in there without any judgment about what you're doing or not doing. That's for all of us, and to trust that spirit. Ask spirit in the moment, what's mine to do? How am I to show up and to do whatever it is that you're called to do? Um, and there's information. Write it out sometimes, because sometimes I offer people, write it out what it is that's coming to mind, so that it's not always in our head. Because when we allow ourselves to write it out, we allow the freedom of it for it to breathe. And we're not like holding on to it, like, how do I make this happen? How do I make this happen? What do I do? Write it out and give thanks for it in advance, that this is what you're calling forth, and you can change it, but just get it out of your body and allow it the freedom to go out into the universe and bring back to you that you're calling to for. So thank you for sharing that. And I see that is there anyone else? Let's see, we're almost close to time. Is there anyone else that would like to share? Well, I am so grateful to be here with you all. And, just thank you all for your shares of what you brought to the table for tonight. And it's so amazing with all the things that you've brought. But what I know is that there's also something else the Spirit may call you to do that you may not have even thought about. And you may go to church one Sunday and there's an opportunity to show up to volunteer for something that you weren't even thinking about, or to take some position at the church or at your job or whatever that you weren't even thinking about. And all of a sudden something says, this is what you're going to do. Receive, to listen, and to also ask for, how am I to do this if you don't know? as spirit, it's like, we always tap into that true nature within us. So may all that you have come to do, come to say, that you presented to us, may you embrace the infinite possibilities that are within you, that are before you, knowing that you are one. Remember that you are one with the Creator's boundless love, vision, and strength. And so I'm just grateful and thank you for your time tonight. And Judith, I am going to turn this back over to you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that really lovely and inspiring talk, Rev Deb. We are going to turn now to our announcements, and Peter will bring up our slides and we'll go through them. So, this Sunday, January 12th, Reverend Sunshine Michelle Coleman will be speaking on making space for it. Meditation starts at 10 a.m., followed by the service at 10:30. On Wednesday, January 15th, at our midweek oasis, join Jessica Chris, practitioner from CSL Santa Cruz, for an encore conversation on the topic making space for it. Meditation is at 6:30 and service is at 7 p.m. via Zoom, as it is tonight. Our daily readers for 2025 are 365 Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes and 365 Inspirational Daily Guides to Grateful Living by Deborah Perdue. So you can pick those up in our Spirit Treasure bookstore and join us. The annual Vision Board Party is coming right up. It's coming up this Saturday, the 11th, from 11:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The cost is $50 per person, which includes materials and food. Seats are limited. Sign up on the oaklandcsl.org under events. And I want to give a plug for this. I attend every year and I love doing this and collect my vision boards. And it's great to look back at them during the year. But this year I can't attend. I'm going to be out of town, but I really encourage you to attend this. And Deborah puts so much work and energy into this, and they're stellar. They're stunning. Okay, next one. Support the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living's 2025 annual pledge, Rising Higher, Growing Deeper. Thanks to your ongoing support, Oakland Center for Spiritual Living continues to thrive. There's still time for you to make your pledge and engage in the law of circulation, opening to greater good as we give. Please join us in nurturing our spiritual home and letting the flow of good continue. Visit oaklandcsl.org and select the donate button on the homepage. And there's still time to sign up for the OCSL Buddy Love program for connection, community, bonding, spiritual practice, and support. Visit oaklandcsl.org/events to register. We need your help with the following sacred Seva service opportunities. Coffee and tea team. Now, Amy and Craig have been doing this for a long time. They've been doing it every Sunday, even though they signed up for 2 Sundays a month. They've been doing it 4 Sundays. And it involves coming early and staying late. And they are retiring from this service as of February 1st. So we're looking for others to step in. And this would be greatly appreciated by all of our congregation. We're also looking for additional AV team members, including tonight's team, the Wednesday night team. Peter is retiring from this service at the end of this month, and he's the lead for the Oasis AV team. So there's an opening here, and we know there's somebody out there who's just perfect for this position. And of course, we thank Peter for all of his wonderful years of service here. Please contact Steve at oaklandcsl.org for more information. Oh, can you go back one, Peter? Sorry, can you go back to that one about needing help? Um, this one here, the green one about transitioning the sanctuary holiday decorations, I understand that this has been done. It was done today, and we want to thank everybody who participated in that. Okay, next one. Our next nonprofit partner presentation is scheduled for February. Stay tuned. The 2025 applications for Board of Trustees has been extended to today. Oh, this is the 8th. So it's been extended to January 12th, which I think is next Sunday. Please help us fill 4 open positions on the board. Visit our website at oaklandcsl.org and select About Us and scroll down to the Board of Trustees to download the application. We have 1 or 2 board members coming forth to share more information. And ring in the new year at our Spirit Treasure bookstore, which is celebrating the new year with 30% off of all books, including children and card boxes. I think it means children's books and card boxes. And there are gifts for under $10. Visit the 30% off holiday table. And of course, here they're showing chimes and singing bowls and drums, a didgeridoo and journals. It's full of wonderful things. Okay, next one. So also visit csl.org to see what's happening within our Centers for Spiritual Living global organization. And visit our website at Oakland CSL and sign up for our weekly newsletter. I think I mentioned that earlier, the Village News. Remember to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook for special updates and content you will only find by liking and subscribing to the Oakland Center. Please like us and subscribe to the Oakland Center today. And now I want to highlight our contact team. You can see everyone here on the slide. We have, I mean, not our contact team, but our OCSL um, team. We have, of course, our Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle, Senior Minister, Beth Van Arkel, who is our board president, Susan Brecker, who is our facility usage coordinator and practitioner, Steve Carter, who is our operations coordinator, Alice Knutson, who is usually on our AV team, but not here tonight, who's also coordinating Ministry of Prayer and is a practitioner, and Dal Becker, who is our bookkeeper. So we want to give a shout out and thank all of them for their wonderful service that they're doing at our center. And now we're going to move into our joyous giving time. So please say with me our affirmation. I freely give what I have, and the divine source multiplies it in return. So, if you feel inspired to donate to our center and keep it running smoothly, you can go on to our website and click the donate button, which is in the upper right hand corner. And then you'll come to a page where you can see all the different ways to donate. You can donate by Zelle, you can text, you can use the QR code, you can write a check, you can donate by credit card, and you can also, of course, if you're there in person, you can donate in our offering basket that we have every Sunday. So we would greatly appreciate and honor you if you are so inspired to support our center in this way. So thank you in advance. And I want to thank also our team tonight, everybody who's participated. Of course, I want to thank our speaker, Rev Deb, for the wonderful talk. And Rev Deb also led our meditation, and she is going to offer our closing prayer. Um, I also want to thank our team, our lead, Peter. Peter is our lead on the team. He also ran the PowerPoint, and he is also the one who's doing the recording tonight. I want to thank Alice Herndon, who did our spotlighting and muting, and Steve Carter in administration, who prepared the slides and sends out all the documentation that we need for the program tonight. And I think that's everybody. We're missing Alice Knudsen tonight. I want to thank Alice for her ongoing service, even though she's not here tonight. We so appreciate her. And I want to thank Dorothy, who gave us our opening prayer tonight. So thank you, everybody who participated. We are most grateful for your service tonight. And I'd like to now turn it over to Rev Deb for our closing prayer.
Thank you, Judith. And we also want to include Reverend Sunshine in this, in the thank yous as well, for just her continued guidance and open heart and love. So I want to do a little something different for our closing prayer for tonight. And if you all have been doing the 365 Science of Mind, there's a prayer affirmation part that's in there that I want to close this with. So if you just allow your eyes to close if you choose to, and just listen into this part of the reading and take this on as for your own. I am listening to the divine presence and permitting it to direct my path. Thoughts and ideas will come to me, and I shall be led to follow through on them in my everyday life. I shall be impelled into right action. I know how to meet every situation in calm trust and with the complete conviction that divine intelligence is guiding me. I wish to do only that which is constructive and life-giving. Therefore, I know that everything I do will prosper. Everything I touch will be quickened into a newness of life and action. Every constructive purpose in my life will be fulfilled. I have a deep sense of inner calm, a complete assurance that all is well. The same intelligence that governs the planets in their course is now acting as a law of good in my personal experience and in the experience of everyone around me. I do thank God for this increase that is mine. I do accept divine guidance. I do believe that I am in silent partnership with all the power, all the presence, and all the love there is. I place my life entirely and completely under the protection and guidance of this power, and I rest in complete assurance that everything I do will prosper. And if you just anchor this with, and so it is, blessed be, amen. Thank you.
And so it is.